So WICCI stands for Women Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which was started by Harbeen Arora, Dr. Harbeen Arora, sometime in the year 2010. There. So 2010, 2012, it's more than a decade that we're running this association. From Leadership Coaching Council, where I chair as a president today, we have initiated this Come Alive Real Stories in Real Women, where we want to bring in the genuine connects, the deeper fears, the deeper, I think, our own journeys that we've all led, right? And we would love to hear from our renowned speakers. So this is just going to be the beginning. We wanted to launch it on Women's Day, and it's only going to thrive over the year, right? So that's how we look, Come Alive, completely unfolding here. So thanks once again for each one of you for being part here. I welcome you for being a part of this, our first launch of Come Alive Real Stories in Real Women. I would love to take opportunity to introduce Ms. Triparna Samaddar. Triparna, it's a pleasure. Triparna comes with, I wouldn't say 23 years, I would say silver years, right, of experience working with multiple corporates, extremely demanding job. Her latest role in the corporate was as a chief business officer. I mean, how many of you are aware of the role? I'm not sure, but I can tell you because I was with the organization as well. Very, very demanding, ain't easy. And there is no timing of when you start the day and end the day, right? So that's the role Triparna is headed for good years. And currently, she runs her own practice. She's an advisor, consultant. And what I love about her is if you get to, you will catch her on a lot of Instagram videos as well. And she is a famous, well-known mountaineer woman today, I would say. Triparna, very proud to see that version of yours, where I have seen you on the other version, the executive women running the place, seeing you on the other side of it in your tracks and doing this wonderful journey is mesmerizing, right? And it just shows how many shades a women can have. So you have been, and I think academically also, she has been somebody who's 2 university gold medals. She's done her engineering, mechanical engineering. I think that says it all, Mechanical department, if you guys are from engineering background, you will be able to relate. Mechanical department is a department where you hardly see a woman taking it. I think the Triparna had it right from the beginning. So it just unfolded over the years. And on top of it, being a gold medalist at a university level sets another benchmark altogether. Then she's also done Everest Base Camp, summited Mountain Kilimanjaro in Africa, a well-known place and quite a tough terrain, I can tell you that. And a couple more marathons and multiple, right? Our way of living is live the fullest. And so apt to be our speaker for the launch of Come Alive. Thank you, Triparna. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate, and it's a pleasure to have you, right? Our next speaker, completely different background and thoroughly amazing. I would love to welcome Miss Smrithy Rajesh. Smrithy, I have had an opportunity to meet you in person as well, and it's such a pleasure. I think just being with you brings in that comfort. I felt very nice. I mean, I think people who are seeing you on the camera also today can feel the warmth from your, just seeing you virtually as well. Smrithy is a special educator, psychologist with over 13 plus years of experience. And I wouldn't call 13 plus years of experience, Smrithy. It's 13 plus years of fighting against a regular system. That ain't easy. She was a maths lecturer, mathematics, another brain, where people say that women don't know how to handle finance. I say, hey, come see the women out here, right? I think Smrithy has been a wonderful person out there like that as a mathematical lecturer. What changed her journey was having her younger son who was diagnosed as autism child. And I think few of us who are women and mothers can relate to it, how hard it would be to a mother to accept it initially. And Smriti went another level, taking that as a stepping stone, not just to help herself, but help a lot many parents and the students around. So that's how her journey of special educators began. And the beauty is she's done, she's presented a lot of papers at national and international level, guys. I think that calls it a different level of, I would say, resilience and discipline, Smriti. And recently, she was invited by Stanford University to present a poster, which is amazing for a Stanford Neurodiversity Summit. So I think there's so much more to listen and learn from you guys. And I'm sure all of us who are part of this insightful conversation would enjoy and learn, and take away a lot of, I think, the power. I can feel that essence. Triparna on the other side, the mountaineer woman, and I have Smriti on the calmer energy, driving the whole change. It's so beautiful combination to have wonderful women like you on our Come Alive Real Stories and Real Women, powered by Wiki Leadership Coaching Council, Karnataka. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Smriti. Welcome again. Great. So, with interest, with time, I know we started a little late and we're going to finish it on time. I promise you that. So, what I'm going to do is just going to get into understanding each other well, right? And learning from Triparna and the team, obviously. And welcome to learn from all of the women who have joined us here. Happy to listen to you, happy to learn for you. Have any questions that you want to add? We would like to bring in that right in front and discuss that. Initially, we just want to open up with a one single question, both for Triparna and Smriti. And the question is very, very, I think that's hitting back to the whole concept that we say real stories, real women. The question is, what do you mean, or what does it mean to you to truly come alive? Tripada would like to hear from you, and then we will go ahead with Smriti.
So, first of all, very happy Women's Day to all the women out here and to all the men, for all the women who are supporting them or in their lives, important women in their lives. So, happy Women's Day to all of them as well. So, to talk about coming alive, see, I personally believe in living life to the fullest. For me, life is not about one role. If it is like a corporate role doesn't define me, it's a part of my life. It's not my life. I've got various other parts of my life, facets of life, my family life, my personal life, things related to my hobbies, my passion. So being able to manage all these things and uh, enjoying each aspect is what I believe in coming alive. The way I look at it is that if somebody asks me on my deathbed, or if somebody on my deathbed, if somebody had to tell a one-liner how she led her life, then I would want people to tell me that she led a hell of a life. She led life on her own terms. So that's what coming alive to me is.
Wow. It's so nice to hear. Thank you, Triparna. Smriti would love to hear from you. What does it mean you truly to become alive?
Hi, Asha, and hi, everyone. A very happy Women's Day to all of you. So, for me, Asha gave a brief introduction about me. So, I always believe that there is a purpose for what I am doing. It's not only for my son, it's for the overall community. If I'm introducing myself, I always love to introduce me in such a way that I'm a special educator, psychologist, and a mom who believes love is the best teaching method. It's not only for autism moms or special needs moms, it is for the community. Parents are the best teachers, and there is a purpose of this parenting as a teacher or as a parent. There is a purpose in what I am doing. So most of the days I'm getting message from a family that, yes, I saw one of your video, I was reading about that article, and I understood that, yes, we can also move forward. It's not like we don't have any problems in our life. We all are going through different issues, but we will be able to find out happiness in that moment, and we learn to be grateful for all the blessings in our life and to move forward. So that is the message I'm always giving to the community, not only for the mothers, not only for special need parents, I have a lots of followers in the social media. I became active in the social media because after my child's diagnosis, I went through a lot of struggles, and I found different ways to come out of that. And then after seeing that change, I was sharing that message to the parents. So I believe, yes, I'm very happy and proud to say that I'm Advait's mom, and that is why I got a purpose like this. Otherwise, I'll be continuing my life as a math lecturer. I'll be teaching different batches and going. I'm not going to show something that is different. But now there is a purpose in my life, and I'm really enjoying that.
That's so wonderful to hear your perspective on Come Alive, Smrithy. In fact, last week I was at a particular hackathon where the concept was, how do you see AI through a human lens? And the concept is all about love as a business strategy. So love is so powerful that people think it's a soft element, but it's actually a strategy if you look at business. And it's the most powerful thing across, no matter where you are doing, what you're doing, and it can help you move mountains. And we have a living example. Thank you. Good. So just to ensure that we're getting into more deeper conversation, opening up to our another question, I would leave it to either of you, Triparna or Smrithy, to go ahead with this. The question says, every powerful story has a turning point. What was defining moment in your life that changed the direction of your journey?
So I can go.
Please.
Okay. So see, there are various defining moments in your life. Now, I'll talk about some incident of my life which happened, and this had two very powerful learnings. And that's something which actually, those two learnings have stayed with me, and that's what propelled me throughout. So in the beginning, when you talk about mechanical engineering and all, so yes, of course, so the story starts from there. So I studied in a girls' college, a girls' school, and then straight away I come into mechanical, where each class has 100 boys. So four classes, 400 boys. I'm like the only girl there. So the first thing people tell, don't join mechanical because there are no other girls and you might not get a job. So I said, anyway, when I'm going to work, I may not have many women working with me, so better let me get used to it. Now, that was still an initial part. That was not the main point. So what happened after I got into the department, I realized that there was no ladies' toilet in the department of 4 floors. And there was one senior girl in the 4th year. So I asked her that, how do you manage? So she said, I typically go to chemical or metallurgy, which are at least like 5 to 7 minutes walk from the department. So I said, okay, now this is crazy. So why haven't you asked about it? So she said that, what's the point in asking? There's no point. I mean, it will not happen. So I spoke to the office guys that there's no ladies' toilet. What do we do? So they said, no, I mean, there's no there, nothing can be done. I said, okay. So I went to the head of the department and I told him, sir, there's a problem I have. Now, normally in the first year, college people are a little afraid to approach the head of the department. I said, boss, this is a basic necessity. I approached the head of the department and said, sir, there's a problem. There's no ladies' toilet. So he said, oh, yes, of course, this is a very genuine problem and actually nobody has brought it into our notice. Can you give us two weeks? So I said, if I have to survive 4 years in this department, and I've already managed about like 3-4 days. So 2 weeks is fine. So I said, yeah, why not? I mean, if that sorts out the problem, then that's it. So within about 10 days time, there was one ladies' toilet in each of the floor mid. So this taught me two important lessons. The first very important lesson is, if you don't ask or try, the answer is always no. And second is, in any situation, think what is the worst can happen. If you can handle the worst, then go ahead. Now, these are the two learnings which I have applied in every phase of my life. Be it, so when we talk about this Everest base camp, see, I was never a trekker. Everest trekking happened to me by an accident. So I watched this movie Unchai, and before that, honestly, I have never trekked. I somehow fell in love with, I had never heard of Everest base camp. So I thought, okay, it came as a bug. So I said, okay, let me try. I don't know, let me try, let me practice. What's the worst can happen? At max, I will not be able to make it. And that's okay. So I tried, and it happened. So then I said, okay, let me try summiting Mount Kilimanjaro. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't make a difference. But it happened. I have today possibly run at least 10 half marathons. But this has happened in the last, only in the last 1 year. Before this, I had never, before October 2024, I had never run more than 500 meters also. And one of my friends posted that she had run a 10K. So I said, okay, let me try and see if there is a, on 21st December that year, 15 December 24, that was a Tata Steel marathon in Kolkata. I'm based out of Kolkata. So I said, let me try a 10K. What will happen? I may not be able to do. Let me try and see if it happens. It happened. And then I said, okay, then why not try a 21K? The 10K can happen. So I had about like 2 months time practiced, and a 21K also happened. So I said, so finally what happens is that if you, and this is applicable in every sphere of your life, be it corporate, be it personal, anywhere, you cannot give up. You have to ask, you have to try, and you should know that what is the worst can happen. If you are prepared for the worst, it's fine. So if you, that toilet incident in my college, actually, because that was somewhere where I was coming out from a protected environment of home, school, everywhere, into everything. And so that's something taught me, and that has remained with me. And all my team members who are there in my office, they would have always heard me saying at least this one time, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And it happens everywhere. So I think that was the most important turning point of my life. And these are the two lessons which are there. It's my blood. So that's about it.
Thank you, Triparna. Thank you. And I think that is something, I don't know. I would talk it, just say it on behalf of all of us that, you know, if you don't ask, it answer is always no. It's so resonating. And thank you. Smrithy, we would love to hear from you.
I was born and brought up in a village in Kerala in a very traditional family, in such a way that male dominance is there and females should listen to all the family members, and always I should be a good child, a good behaving, and very thankful to all of them. And we should impress others to get the good certificate. So after marriage also, when you are going to another family, you are supposed to behave like that. You are supposed to adjust with all that things, and you are not supposed to complain all that things. You should be a good homemaker. That is what the lesson from childhood we were getting. And when my younger son diagnosed with autism, the first things around me was why it happened. It must be because of your bad parenting. You were ignoring your child, and that is why it happened to you. Because in our family, all are educated, good-looking people, and how a disabled child can come into the family, it's all because of you. So it's like that the journey started. And of course, I don't have much exposure. Even though I was a postgraduate, I was having a very powerless role in the society to take decisions, to move forward. And I went into completely into depression because I don't know what is this. I heard the word autism first time in my life. It was 16 years ago. There was no social media, there was no support system, there is no connection with other people, and all the family members around me are telling this with complete negativity. And I was not able to come out of that. Full time I'm crying. I think, okay, what mistake I made, why it happened to me. And I went through some time like this, and after a few months I realized it is affecting both my children. If I'm not working on myself, I'm going to lose both my children. And so I at that time I have no connection, I have no one to say that we will work it out or we can find how to move forward. No one is there around me to say that. But somehow I took that as a challenge, and I pushed myself out of that comfort zone, and I found my own ways to come out of that. And that was a great turning point in my life. And from there I was changing. I first I worked on myself. I changed my attitudes, what was there in my head from my childhood. I stopped impressing others. I started doing things what is right for me, what is right for my child. And if someone is telling something, I'm not going to take it seriously. I don't want to listen. They can give me 100 suggestions, but no one will come and stand on my shoes to work for my child or work for my family. Only I can do that. That realization happened in that moment of my life. And from there, my life started changing. And now I am in a very powerful role where I can plan my child's future, my family can support many other families across the globe.
Wow. I mean, it's quite, I would say it's quite moving. Right? It's not easy. And, they say, how do you turn your pain into, your motivation, your power? I think nobody better than a woman can do that. Right? So it's so nice to understand and listen to your perspective. Thank you for that, Smrithy. I would like to go with our next question, which says, looking back at your journey, what is one fear or limitation you had overcome to truly become the woman you are today? Smriti or Triparna, either of you.
Okay, so I'll go. Okay, please ask me from a fear or limitation point of view. Technically, if I have asked myself, did I have any fear? Possibly no, because somewhere fear was not the challenge for me, because somewhere any situation, I would always think what's the worst can happen, and then that would help me to overcome any fear. But when coming to limitations, now limitations are two types. One is a limitation which you put on yourself, and the other is the limitation which society puts on yourself. So I would possibly talk about the limitations which society would have wanted to put on myself, and how I would have overcome that, because sometimes when you start limiting yourself because of societal limitations, then that becomes a challenge. So few of the limitations which has been, somehow my role always has been very unconventional in terms of, for example, in joining mechanical, and where in the fourth year, a lot of my professors also told that you should sit for the IT companies, because organizations don't typically take women employees. It's difficult to work in field, difficult to work in plants and all. But then I was very hell-bent on getting into core mechanical job. And I did not actually sit for any of the IT companies. And I actually got selected in Tata Motors, and that too in the after-sales service, which is managing the workshops, car workshops. So, in fact, one of my interview questions in Tata Motors, what they had asked me is that women leave because they get married. I honestly got very irritated by that question in the interview. So I said that, okay, I understand, but men also leave jobs if they get better opportunities, or if they get options for higher studies. So you take care of me, I won't leave. So somehow, whatever, so that was a limitation or a thought which was there, which I didn't, which possibly some of them tried to impose on me, which I did not want to allow those thoughts to come onto me. So in a way, you can say these are some of the thoughts which I would have to overcome. In fact, during my work days, I remember that. In fact, why I'm taking the example of Tata Motors, because it was a very it's a automobile very male dominated industry. Uh, I was posted in my first posting was in Chennai after my training in Pune, where I don't know the language, and people seeing a female in the workshops is something. I mean, you don't get to see a female engineer, so like,
It's not right.
basically like okay. If somebody has come and if I have to attend, they will be first thinking, okay, why this person has come? Maybe some HR or something. So that's again a bias which you have to overcome by your knowledge and all. There was one incident which happened. I was at some point of time I was based out of Kolkata and I had to handle army vehicles. There was a challenge with the army problems vehicle, and a team from Pune had to come. So my boss actually deputed somebody else to handle that. And I was very upset. And I asked him, why are you, I am taking care of the army vehicles. Why are you not allowing me to go? And no, you are a female. We want to take care of you. We don't want you to feel unsafe. And all. I said, you better ask me first whether I am feeling uncomfortable or unsafe. So, I mean, it depends on you how you allow so you will across your life. And I think these are things which a lot of people would see, where society would say, oh, you are a female. You can't do on the field job. How will you do? These are so and so problems. So there are some unconscious biases which are there. So it depends on whether you are allowing those unconscious biases to limit yourself. And when you limit yourself, you start succumbing to this. You stop asking, you stop demanding. And honestly, as a woman, I feel is that you actually have to demand a lot more for your rights. Because you have to overcome those unconscious biases, which can actually act as a limitation. So if you ask me, it would not be a fear, but then definitely there would have been, I would have definitely worked against the limitations. The best way, I think, to work against those, cut through those limitations is to don't consider your gender as a limiting force. Consider yourself as a human being. You have the capability, you have the confidence. And then I think you can convince everybody. You first need to convince yourself.
Thank you. I think well narrated on the fear and the limitation front. Smrithy, would like to hear from you.
For me, being independent, that was a struggle, I should say, because as I was explaining earlier, that was a situation from where I was coming. And when I came into a city like Bangalore, there were lots of challenges. It is completely a different world for me. And in top of that, I'm coming with this diagnosis and I don't know more to forward. So the first step, I think, was learning to drive in Bangalore traffic. The first thing is getting a license. Yes, that I got. But now how to drive in the Bangalore traffic is such a big task for me. But I have no choice. I have to take my son to a school which was 20 kilometers away from my home. So 20 to 40 kilometers I have to drive. First, one or 2 days, my husband came with me, and full way he is shouting at me by telling, I'm not looking there, I'm not looking here. And then after the first day, I told, don't come with me, I'll go alone. And I started taking it alone. And at that time, my son was very hyper. So actually, it was not easy because I have to take care of his safety. And people were honking behind me and they were shouting at me because I'm going very slowly. And all these things happened. But there was no other way for me. There was no other support system for me. And so I did it And now I am an expert driver in Bangalore, and I felt that helped me to overcome that fears, that made me understand that everything is possible for me. Now, when I was in California, I was staying with some of my friends, and then when I went for sightseeing alone by taking
Smriti, we lost you in between. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, sorry. Oh, you unmute again. I don't know.
muting me, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So when I was in California, when I was going for solo trips, all that thing. So my friends who were studying with me for my graduation days, they were telling me, Smriti, we can't believe it is the same person who is managing all these things here, and how you changed yourself in this journey. So even though that driving is something for many of you, you must be thinking it was such a small milestone, but for a person like me, it was a big milestone. And from there, I started visiting many. I got that um, uh, confident that I can overcome the challenges and can move forward. So this is what for me in for this question I would like to answer as this only. This was a turning point. Again, that fear, when I was able to overcome, that made a lot of difference in my life.
Thank you, Smriti. I know, as you rightly said, sometimes it can sound as simple as it's just driving, right? And but driving, from what background we come from, our ethnicities that we come from, could be geographically, environmentally, or societally. I think those, even the small moves. I mean, I would say in your case, it's not just driving. It's been like a big mobility and a flexibility, portion for you. So thank
Yes.
you for sharing that. I would like to continue our conversation, and would like to go with another question. And I would like to hear the views from Triparna and then Smriti. If your story, if your story could give one message to every woman who's listening to us right now, and who will continue to listen to you because we're going to have this videos put across, right? What would that message be?
So my message will be, the mountain is you. Your mental blocks define your limits. So it's you who define your limits by your own mental blocks.
So
So
it's all
mountain.
us. Lovely. I think I love it. Thank you so much. Smriti,
Um, you are the one who can find happiness for yourself. Don't wait for others to bring flowers for you, gifts for you to make you happy. Find your own strengths. Be proud of who you are. Don't compare yourself with others. You all are good at something. Focus into that and find happiness in your own ways. Always take care of yourself. You must be the first priority. Your health, your happiness. And after that, you can give that same energy and the same love to your family members or your friends. So, first, try to make yourself happy and confident.
fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing this. What we would like to do is, as you know, Triparna also mentioned, and Smriti, it's also important to live the life fullest, right, and come alive, which involves all kind of emotions, right? Being confident, being scared, having a little fear, laughing a little like out there, and all of that. So we would want to have this short, fun, rapid fire questions. It will be just a one-word answer that we would like to listen from you guys. So Smriti, we will go with you, right? And so let me just shoot a question. We just want to have a one-word answer, or you can say yes or no, either of yours. That's your choice. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
One word that describes your younger self.
Loving.
A hobby that instantly makes you happy.
Walking.
If your life was a movie title, what would it be?
Resilience.
Lovely. Thank you so much. We're moving to Triparna. Beach holiday or mountain getaway?
Mountain any day. Though I love both. So mountain will be solo, beach will be group.
Okay. Book or podcast?
Sorry,
Book or podcast?
book.
One thing people would be surprised to know about you.
I'm a very emotional person, which very few people get to see. Only very close people know how emotional I am.
Your go-to way to relax after a long day.
Spend time with my daughter.
One word that describes how you feel right now on this insightful conversations.
Lovely.
Thank you. So that is from our end. I would like to invite our champion who heads our marketing and branding for Wiki Leadership Coaching Council, Padmajah. Padmajah will have one of the closing questions she's going to ask you. And then we would also want to open it to people if they have any questions. We would like to take questions from audience and would love to also summarize, some of the amazing takeaways that we've had in this 45 minutes of wonderful conversation. Padmajah, over to you.
Sorry, I'm getting late for a Muhurat. I'm just in the car. Sorry about it. I hope you can hear me out. Very lovely conversation. I'm just speaking my mind. I didn't prepare anything for this. So one I see as a fiery strength from Triparna and another silent courage from Smrithy. Two different coins, but the same resilience, the same power. And the entire conversation was so authentic, so realistic that, it takes a lot of time for me to process and say, okay, it's so relatable. Every woman has this at all levels. So only one question for you both, what I would say is, if somebody comes to you, okay, maybe your younger self, maybe Triparna, you said there are limiting beliefs that one can have, and one can fight for it, and there are not all people those who have the ability to do it. So what would be the first step that you can advise for them to take a first brave step? What would be your response to them? It's for the people who cannot process themselves. It's for the people who don't have the courage, or they don't know whether they have the courage or not. They have the self-doubt or somebody of that sort. So what will be your first, opinion or suggestion that they could take it forward?
A lot of this is something which I have faced actually. A lot of women, young women would have come and asked me, ma'am, you are in this position, so you can do this, you can talk to seniors. But how can we talk to seniors? So my first question to them is, what stops you?
Bingo.
So then they say, no, how can we talk to a senior? I said, is the senior a tiger, lion, will eat you? So what's stopping you? If your question is valid, if it is logical, if you're convinced, what is it that's stopping you? And then they said, no, actually nothing. And that's when they start looking into it, and that's where they start thinking in. And then they take that first step. And once they have taken that first step, they have actually overcome that fear of what stopped them. And that is something, if you are able to take, like Smrithy took that first step of driving. Even when I also learned driving, people were honking. I learned driving at a very young age. People were honking. I said, "ठीक है, जाने दो, honk करने दो." They will not be able to drive over me. Even if they will honk, at max they will honk. They will not be able to drive over me. I will be safe. So that thought process of what's the worst can happen was again playing. So what stops you? So finally, Smriti also took that step of to overcome that something which was stopping her. Or when she was saying that to impress others, she took that over step which stopped her from. So once you take that first step, you would have broken the ice. So that's my first question to anybody who comes and, no, I can't do this. So what stops you?
Very practical approach, and indeed that's a question that can relate to everybody's thought process, rewind their mind, shift. Thank you so much, Smriti. The question what I want to ask you is, normally when you have a kid with special abilities, most of the mothers take the lot of emotional workload. How often the support system from family plays an important role, how families can support the mother, because what happens, I'll tell you, the emotional overload is always a most dangerous thing, because it's carrying forward for years and it tires you physically as well. And most of the mothers come with the why me, why I have got like this situation like that. Even Alagu pointed out in the comments. So what advice you can give to those mothers, and how they can leverage the support, or how the family can support?
I'm not able to hear
I,
you.
I will complete it. So it would be like how the family can support. Yes.
Yeah, now it is clear.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Padmajah. We can hear you.
So family support, and just tuning themselves to take the first brave step, from why me to how can I handle this, what they have to do.
Yeah, family support in the sense, as when I was starting this conversation, I was explaining about our society is looking all this responsibility should come from a mother. So the first question, everyone will look into you only and will ask and will give you all the suggestions, because they believe that the mother is the one who is responsible to do that. Even fathers, they have the job, so they have to take care of their job. It's a mother's responsibility. So I will tell you, yes, of course it starts from us, because like that only. But don't try to change others. Instead of, we have to work on ourselves to understand about it and to move forward about it and take a first step on that. Then other people will follow you. But because from my experience, what I learned is, when we are trying to change someone, we are simply wasting our energy. If they want to change, they should feel that if I want to change, I want to work on myself. Other people can't simply give me all this prabhashan and can't make any change in myself. If I am ready to open that, if I am ready to try that, then only I can make a change on myself. So in my journey also, that is what I did. And whenever parents are coming to me by telling that my husband is not supporting, my in-law is like this, like that, I used to tell them that, okay, they may take time, but whenever possible, make them listen to this autism awareness programs and all that things, that because most of the time only you mothers will be listening to all that things, and they will be getting that understanding, and they will be understanding how to move forward. But that should reach it to other family members also gradually in that process. Now in the centers, and when we are doing autism awareness program also, we used to do for the extended family, because their awareness is also important. That is why in social media we are making so many videos. So there are so many grandparents who are following me and used to tell, my grandchild is like this, okay, so now now I understood, how can I support her mother. So that message now we are able to give. So they are getting, initially they are not aware about all these things, and that is why all these problems are happening. So first, as a mother, we can take the first initiative and can move forward, so that the extended family will join with us in this journey. But don't expect that the same understanding they'll also have. Even now also my in-laws will ask me when he will talk. So now we are very clear about his condition. Because of apraxia, he is not able to produce sounds. He has a communication system. He is communicating beautifully. We, as a parent, we are not thinking that he is non-verbal. That That thought process is not there in my mind, but still it's there in our extended family. So we are not expecting them according to their understanding, their age. That is too much for them. Okay, so slowly let them come into that. And I'm giving that space. And for mothers, as you told, burnout, why it is happening. When we started the journey, it was a very, very tough journey. And uh, I was going through a lot of difficulty at that time. Thankfully, I'll say it was in my 30s, so that I got a lot of energy. In my 40s, I can't expect me to run around like that. But what I did is, I was not only doing everything for my son, at the same time, I was working on my career too. So there was something for me to proud of myself. First, I did special education in autism, and it was not limited only for my child. I started working with other families, other children. And after a period of time, I thought I want to do more. And then I started doing masters in psychology. After that, I started doing some courses related to research, and I came into research. And my mentors pushed me to come out of my comfort zone and to go to present in the conferences. You can't imagine how stressed I was in my first presentation in Jaipur. I was so scared because that is the stress I was going through in my life at that period of time. And that is why parents are sitting in their comfort zone. It is very difficult to come up with the right words, to come up with the right way of presentation. It's not because we are not educated or we are not aware about the topic. It's because of the stress. So from there, I was trying myself to come out of that comfort zone to work for myself also. There are all parents will say we are doing everything for our child, but at the same time, it's not only for my child, it was for myself too. Whatever I'm doing for my son or for other children, that I'm doing with love. I'm enjoying in what I'm doing. So I believe if we started enjoying in what we are doing, we won't reach into a level that I don't want to do anything. So yesterday also I was in a conversation with another parent. She was telling me that you don't give me a program for my child. You let me know what I can do for myself, because I reached in a level that now I'm not able to find my strength. I'm not able to move forward because of the stressful experiences that I was facing. So nowadays, I never suggested parents to always do the special education and come to this profession. You already have, if you have your own profession, you can follow that and balance the timing. The quality time you can give it to your child, make a support system, send the child to the appropriate center or school where he can fit it. Let her give an exposure to get communicate with other people, learn with other people. So don't keep your children full time in the home. Always you should find the better place for your child and divide your timing. Give the quality time to your child, and then you work on yourself, find time for yourself.
Absolutely amazing. The individual, support, an individual working on their abilities, that matters a lot to, avoid the burnout. That is the self-awareness and also going towards what you want to go.
Yeah.
So this is something which is more close to heart for me, because when Triparna was talking about mechanical engineering, my first training assignment is for second year mechanical boys, and I'm the only lady out there, and I don't know. Now it is a kind of, the build was big. At that time, I was a kind of, lean, and, I was not at all visible when I was taking a session for them. But only one thing is, when you spot what is right for you and just ask the right question to the people, then you get the respect. That is what I understood from that experience. And asking questions is not a wrong thing, and taking a first brave step to ask why it is happening or what you want is something, a lesson to carry from this conversation. That is there's some belief that we have to have in ourselves, that, as Ripana said, what could go wrong, what maximum could happen, let's try to face it. So her marathon, half marathon, her 10K, then the mountaineering experience. So it is so progressive. Just one question she asked herself: what more could go wrong, or what happens next? So that is something, a great takeaway in this conversation. And with Smriti, it is like, even from a family where we have also have a special child, it's always a kind of, handling the extended family is very, very tough. So, and that time when you sacrifice everything, you're also doing some kind of, hard stop for yourself, and that also comes as an added problem for people. Okay, I'm not doing anything, I'm just doing only the child care. So her brave approach, and also her practical suggestion, don't keep the child 24 hours in front of you. That matters most, because the child has to get accustomed for other environments as well. So this is like two different coins, as I said earlier, but too many things to take on from this conversation. And I'm definitely going to watch the recording again, so that I don't miss the key inputs out here. But fabulous inputs and fabulous, fantastic women rocking towards their goals, and also getting successful and empowering others. Hats off. And to all the people who have come here, it is great having you all at this Women's Day. Happy Women's Day. The concept is give to gain. So Wiki Leadership Council, we wanted to have this concept primarily start off from the Women's Day. So we want to give to gain, and we want more stories, more powerful women to come here and share their experiences. So keep tuned. Every Sunday we'll be having, so all social media will be posting this. And special, thanks and applause to Triparna and Smrithy for joining us here. It's a very short notice that we gave you. Really thankful to you. And more stories, more authenticity, and no filters. Please join us the next time. Asha, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I don't really have anything to share much now. What I would want to do is, if I know we're already taking 2 minutes away from the time, the closing time, but I still want to take one privilege of one question from an audience. If there's anybody who wants to ask one question, just one. Any questions? Okay,
Asha, hello,
go ahead,
hello,
Ashwini.
hello.
Oh, I have Bhakti also. Bhakti, go
So
ahead.
I was waiting if anyone else is interested because I'm really interested. Thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Smriti
Bhakti.
ma'am.
Please ask the
Yes,
question.
so thank you, Smriti ma'am, for giving us the link. I'm again a parent of a special child. So I knew what ma'am may tell. The important part I should have listened the last ending, as I don't know if we'll get the voice recording. I have actually written because focus is on two kids. Husband is not home. This is how the woman days goes usually. So my son just took a razor and cut his finger. The blood came. I just applied a band-aid. That's how I couldn't hear the last part, but I understood. Someone said, like, personally, ma'am, I have devoted myself. He's going to be my son, who's going to be just 13 on March 15 now. I'm a pharmacist by profession. So thanks to Smriti ma'am, 3 years back, I was in a need of certain things, and she is the one. And Addu, so her son Addu, and entire family, including Smriti ma'am, is a real big live example and motivation whenever I feel stuck somewhere. So one good news to Smriti ma'am, I just joined for 2 hours. It's not earning, it's like learning main. Earning will be like a stipend. So my own sir, who I was thinking 3 years back, so I'm a that side of the coin where Smriti ma'am belongs, wherein we restrict our thinking. And I would love to try what Triparna ma'am said. Why not? You know, face what next can happen. Challenge yourself is what Smriti ma'am did. Uh, so comfort zone is something like my son loves swimming. For Smriti ma'am, like her husband's support is there. The family came afterwards. First, she stood for herself, facing all the negativity around. Okay, facing all the depression she had. Again, she has two kids. I have two kids. For her, it was back to back, Adi and Addu. So Adi is doing great right now, but even she had to face real challenges. I'm sorry, ma'am Triparna, I don't know much about you, but when I look at someone like a guru, so I am a good student and she's a really good teacher, but I'm not yet blessed with Smriti ma'am's professional teaching, which I want to try for my son Atharva, like special education, also like computer. So she has touched life of so many without actually taking fees from us. She has been available for so means there is no ending to that so many families. I always message her whenever I see her status. I make a point. I will see her status because getting socially active or this and that, it is tough when you have too much responsibility, which as per Triparna ma'am is right. Sometimes when I heard your story, I could remind myself of Infosys Foundation. If you know, uh, Narayan Murthy and Sudha, even she at her time was the only person, and she couldn't, she was the only person, if you know it, and she didn't have any women's toilet. So in uh, in somewhere apart from special education, autism, a journey of parent or mother, somewhere I disagree for certain things. Even there is awareness, even there is technology, we are stuck in a society full of questioning. Only women are expected to do many things with respect to handling the whether you're working or not working, handle your house as well as uh, handle the responsibility. So 13 years break, 13 plus years break, my son is going to 13. It was not something forced on me. It was something I had asked my husband. I'm okay with it, because for me career was never the thing, money was never the thing. But now I really feel how Smriti ma'am speaks, it need not be I have to learn special education or psychology, whatever. I can be in my field as a pharmacist, and be a teacher or be something that I want. Like I feel inspired by her to touch someone else's life, like parents, mothers, particularly like me, or the kids, whoever it is, for free. For free means I have everything like to spend, but sometimes money doesn't give you things that will give you unlock the answer. The puzzle I have, mathematically I will speak, like puzzle I cannot crack, and that is not me saying. Can see so many, uh, as I will say autism, because autism is a thing wherein there is no cause, there is no medicine, and there is no outcome. As a
Okay.
pharmacist, I'm
I'm so sorry. I really didn't want to intervene, but we're
no
running out
problem,
of
ma'am.
time. You have any specific question?
Question is nothing. Again, coming back to Triparna, ma'am. So I'm coming from the coin, the side of Smriti ma'am. Some motivating more words wherein you said, the mountain is you. Can you just push me more about it? For example, this March month, I'll go for 2 hours, 1 hours, and just explore the world I belong to as a pharmacist. And I just told my husband yesterday, I went for 2 days and I may join for a few hours. But when the March gets over, I have already told my sir, like April, May, I'm not sure. I'll be taking a break. June onwards, I may come again when my son, who is autistic, is occupied
Okay.
in the school. So
Thank you.
anything that
Thank you,
can,
Bhakti. I would love to continue the conversation, and I'm very sorry to intervene. I'm a
no
last
problem.
person who steps in when somebody's talking, but I think in the interest of time, I will have to kind of end this conversation. Thank you, but really appreciate, and I can hear the genuineness, the inspiration in your voice. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, everyone. Like Smriti ma'am, Triparna ma'am, Asha ma'am, it was really a productive day start for me. Thank you.
Pleasure, pleasure. Miss Triparna and Smriti, I know we are 5 minutes over the time, and I had said that we will stop it at 12, which I would love to, but I think that is where deep conversation don't really end on time. If we are okay, there's another person who's raised a hand to ask a question. I would open it up. Otherwise, we will collect the question and share it to you. Either way, it's fine with us. I would like to hear from
It's
Triparna.
okay.
It's okay? Smriti?
Yes, yes, please continue.
Okay. I think it's Lucky, right? I see the hand raised. Uh,
Yeah, this is Lakshmi, Asha.
okay, Lakshmi, please go ahead and ask your question. And please keep
uh,
it to the question in
yeah,
interest.
yeah. I mean, my question was for Smriti. I was when she mentioned that car driving story, it was so correlatable. So I just wanted to understand how did you, do it yourself with, alone that one. I just wanted one more, like, uh, on that. Okay, a little bit.
The driving secrets.
Yeah, that's right.
As I
I'm
was
sucker
telling,
actually.
nothing. If we have someone to support, we'll always take that support granted, and we will be soft and smooth in that comfort zone. But if you reached in a stage in your life that you have to move forward, and there is no one to give you this positive support, then you will be able to do so. You believe in your mind that I have to do this, that will be a turning point in my life. And you believe me, after that you will feel so confident when you are driving alone, and that will be such a relaxing activity. And you will feel that yes, now I'm ready to fly, even though you are sitting in a car. So that feeling is something that is very different, and you will become so confident in your life. So you believe in your mind that you can do, and you just do. Making mistakes is fine, and all that things. Always, my driving instructor used to tell me that please take care of the people who are walking. Okay, other vehicles who are coming opposite to you, they know how to move away from you. But please take care of the people. So don't go too close to them. That is the only thing I used to keep it in mind. And you will be able to do. Just go.
Yeah, but I've been driving some time back, but in between I gave up. And now that all the cars are with all these men and nobody wants to share, no. That's a challenge.
And you can
I
start
think
with
it's
a
a challenge
small
with all
car.
women,
I
I guess.
start with a small car, so that I became confident in that way. When we are taking a long vehicle like sedan and all, it will be more difficult in the turning, parking and all. So if you can start with a small car, that will be more
Yeah,
convenient.
I know that's true. It's a small car only all these people have, but they all have ego, husband, brother, father. Don't want to.
So Lakshmi, if I can
So
just
I've
add
given up on them now.
Lakshmi, if I
Triparna
can
has something to add here. Triparna, go
add
ahead.
two things to it. See, everything for everybody, there's a first day. Be it the husband, be it all the men who drove their cars, they also had one first
Yes,
day.
yes.
They would, and to learn a car, you need to definitely bang another car, have some scratch and dent in your car. The day you are able to have that, that day you will learn driving. So be prepared to do it. This is something you, like, just as a kid cannot walk without falling down, you will hit your car, don't hit some human being, but hit a car
Yeah, I've
somewhere.
already hit also. I've banged the tree last to last year, and after that only my confidence has gone down.
No, don't see. If you remember your ABCD days, you would, when you started writing ABCD, these were all Tera Meda and all. So today you speak sentences, you write anything, but it has taken a long way. You never gave it up. And when
Yeah.
you are driving, what will happen? There will be people who will be honking behind you. That's okay, let them honk. They will not run over you. So that happens. Some with practice, you have look at yourself. You would have done so many things in your life, and you did not do it on the first day. You would
Right.
have, if you are doing cooking, you would have messed up some cooking. You would have put extra salt, sugar, whatever. I mean, in any field of your life, you would not have got it right the first day. Just because there are more men in the roads who are driving, and they are like, they will give you those weird looks. And I mean, see, I consider myself an excellent driver, and still I get those looks from men just because if I'm overtaking them. So that's okay. I mean, it's okay. Let them give you looks, let them honk. It's okay. It's a husband ego, brother ego. And don't, and if since you learn no driving, don't go out with anybody. Go alone. The more you drive alone, the more confidence you will have.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll do that. I think it was really insightful. Thank you, Smriti and Triparna, so much. It was a great session. I mean, I would say insights more than a session. Thanks, Asha, for that.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you, Lakshmi. And thank you, Triparna. Thank you, Smriti. Only thing that I would like to ask is, we would want to do this as a part of Coming Alive, Real Stories, Real Women. If we can give 30 minutes one-on-one conversation, whoever is a lucky winner, we will pick that up through our own process. We can have them have one session with you, virtual, 30 minutes. We will arrange the whole session. So if you're open to it, just let me know and we'll be happy to exercise that. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate each one of us, and extra 11 minutes going into the, I think, wonderful cause of inspiring us. Happy Women's Day. Take care.